Past simple. When is the past simple used? The past simple is used to express that an idea, action, or state has already been completed. It could have ended 5 minutes ago or 7 centuries ago, but the time of completion doesn't matter. The only key point is that it refers to something that is no longer happening or existing in the present. To emphasize that, it is a completed fact. It can be accompanied by context, for example. A year ago, I ate in that restaurant. In 1970, the Beatles split up. When you were a child, you liked apples. Note: these context clauses can go before or after the main clause. For example, I ate in that restaurant a year ago. There are verbs whose past tense doesn't always express a past situation. The best example of this is could, the past tense of can, which is used to formalize questions. For example, could you close the door, please? Past simple of regular verbs. There are some rules for the formation of regular verbs in English which are based on knowing the last letters of the infinitive. The two endings for forming the past simple are do and ed, and they depend on the following. 1. The D is for verbs whose last letter is E. For example, close, closed. She closed the store yesterday. 2. The ed ending is for verbs with any other ending. For example, jump, jumped. All the people jumped when they heard that song at the concert. 3. When there is the Y at the end after a vowel, you only need to add ed. For example, played. She played like a pro in the final match. 4. When there's no vowel before the pro-I, it is changed to I plus ed. For example, studied. I studied all night for the last test. 5. In other cases, the last consonant of the word must be repeated to add the ed formula. For example, stop. You stopped just in time before the train crossed. Past simple of regular verbs in negative and interrogative forms. To construct sentences in the simple past tense in its negative form, you must use the auxiliary verb do, does, which is the only one that is conjugated in the past tense. The main verb remains in its past tense infinitive form. For example, affirmative. They practiced their play all weekend. Negative. They didn't practice their play all weekend. In interrogative sentences, the auxiliary verb do, does must also be used. As in the negative form, only the auxiliary verb is conjugated in the past tense, while the main verb remains in the infinitive. Past simple of irregular verbs. They are called irregular verbs because they completely change their root. Whether in their simple past tense, past participle, or both forms. Unlike regular verbs, they don't require adding do or ed. Instead, their spelling changes significantly. In this case, it's necessary to learn the different forms, but with reading and practice, the task becomes easier.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.